up on the last field we sprayed about a week and a half ago. It's all covered in snow, volunteer carrots, but I hate driving by it. Doesn't look like it did anything. Just sprayed some Roundup trying to get these volunteer carrots, but I think it just froze too quick after. Yeah, I think it just got too cold and just didn't really absorb it, so I don't know if it's gonna really work, so sorry. I think you're gonna have to spray that again. I hate when that happens. I think it makes me look bad and they feel bad and I feel bad, so not good around. So just spray it earlier next time and then it will work. Well, got back from a nice long couple week break. Courtney finally got back from goofing off at college, so he's gonna be helping us, just showing them what we need to do. The shop's a wreck right now, but I'm not here to do that today. I had to do some paperwork. I finally got the old 4830 to sell. Got a pretty good price. I feel like a guy in Idaho bought it. Yeah. So I had to just send him some information on it. And then I got a guy that wants to talk to me tomorrow about spraying his corn. I guess he wasn't super happy with the coverage on some of the fields, but it's kind of like I think they call it like a monocrop. It's corn every year. And he just having some Velvetleaf problems, I think he said. I mean, they've been using the same chemical mix for years now, so gotta talk to him about that. He wants to use drops, but it's not gonna work. His stuff's way too hilly. It's got these small little like swells in it, and I don't know if you have a farm with any hills or swells, you probably know drops won't work because you got a 60-foot boom, and then if you hit a little swell, you're gonna have to raise it up, and then half your tips are gonna be out of the rows. And he wanted to do it after row closure, come back and spray again. But I'm gonna just show him some tips, different options, different chemicals he could probably use. So if anyone has a suggestion, I guess leave me a comment or something. Don't know really how that works on YouTube yet, but yeah, so I just gotta do a couple paperwork, gotta email the state some records they requested, send out the last invoice from last week, round up some tips to show this guy what he needs. So I actually might talk some more about tips today. Yeah, hopefully we can solve this problem. I just figured maybe like a dual tip, one that shoots forward and back, or every other tip is forward back, and kind of get some penetration. We can come later. Half the problem is he likes us to spray super early. I mean, like 3-4 leaf stages is a second spray, and then he dammer dikes after, and it's like, hey, you gotta wait longer, and you have to have a spray after your dammer dike, or you're just gonna be turning over new weeds. Anyways, I was talking to the field man, and we're kind of on the same page now. We just gotta talk to him, figure it out. So anyways, I'm gonna go in, get some stuff. It's cold today, can't really tell, but it's snowing. It's only like 25 degrees, but yeah, kind of got stuff taken apart. Trailers over there, a couple sprayers over there. The new sprayer came, and it's actually at my uncle's shop. For tax reasons, according to our accountant, don't quote me on this, but he said as long as it doesn't come on our property, we can say we didn't take delivery, and then we don't have to pay sales tax or property tax for the year, and then we don't have to pay sales tax till, I think it's with our quarterlies. So would that be January, February, March, so April-ish, I guess. But I don't know if that's true. I forgot my iPad. But that's what he says. So I guess that's how we've done it in the past. So it's at my uncle's shop. Got it though. Looks great. It's a big upgrade from the 4830. It's even got a fridge. Got done with that paperwork. Well, more like Mom got home and took over the computer again. But anyways, so I was gonna just show you guys some tips that we use on the sprayer. Man, it's really snowing out here. It got like almost a half inch since I went inside. But yeah, so So this is my sprayer. I take the older 4830. So I don't know if you can see this, but I just like the air induction tips. That's what I use for everything. For those of you that don't know much about tips, so each color coordinates to a different size. So the white's like an 08, and that's just the orifice, like the opening size. The gray, I think's a what is that? That one's a 6. Black is 05, and the red one, I don't know if you can see it way up there. That's like 04, and so those are just the different tips I use. Usually, if you're going between 12 to 15 miles an hour, white's for 20 gallons an acre, gray's for 15 gallons an acre. The brown's kind of in between 10 and 15 gallons per acre at that speed. Red is for your 10 gallons an acre, but just depending on your speed, what pressure you want. So air induction, it's a coarser droplet, so I tend to do a much higher pressure to kind of have a smaller droplet, kind of pressurizes it more, so I get better coverage. But I do like the air induction because it's less drift. We spray probably a couple thousand acres around grapes, and grapes are just a pain in the rear. So finicky, and we always have problems with them. I think if you look in your TJet book, it says that they do, lost my hat, it does very good on coverage. Not excellent, but very good. But they still do a good enough job. So right here I have all my different tips. Here we go. I bought, I think it ended up being like almost 20 sets of tips for $400, and each set of tips for 120-foot booms, like depending on what tip you're getting, like $600 to $900 to, even more depending on, like I said, the tip. So steal the deal. It was a custom guy that went out of, retired, and so yeah, I got all of his tips. Okay, so I got a couple tips here to show you guys, and I found my old TJet book. So to kind of give a brief summary of tips. So usually you have the body or the cap, and then you have the actual tip. So each tip's got these numbers on it. So XR, TJet, so that's the type tip it is. XR is a flat fan, and then on the bottom, these numbers, it says 110.08. So 110 stands for the fan, or the angle of the fan, as it comes down. It's either 80 or 110. 110 is more common. I think the optimum height level is 20 inches, and then for 80, it's like 30 inches off the ground. 08's the orifice size, and VK stands for ceramic. So this one over here is an air induction tip. This one's called a quick cap, so it's the tip and the body or cap all in one. So this one's 110.025, and the 025 is the orifice size, so really small, and then 110 is the fan angle. On this side, it tells you, it's a, upside down, air induction, so AI, TJet. Usually I'll say SS at the end right here if for stainless steel, which this one is. So most tips are either plastic, ceramic, or stainless steel. Ceramic is supposed to be great, lasts a really long time. Unfortunately, they can't make every kind of tip with that. The stainless works pretty good too. I use stainless on a lot. Like I said, I use the air induction a lot, and those are stainless. They don't make them in ceramic. Going back to the tips right here is a one for fertilizer, like stream jetting. It's just got those 3 holes, so just 3 streams of fertilizer can come out. All these caps will have a little gasket in there too, so if you're ever shooting water out the edges, it means you're missing your gasket or it's worn. But you can also put a reducer in here to reduce the amount of fertilizer coming out if you are putting on less or something. For this tip, a lot of guys like to put a strainer with each tip. I don't. John Deere's got a good enough system where I don't feel like I need it to keep gunk from clogging up my nozzles. I don't like to use this because this will gunk up, and then it'll reduce the amount of flow coming out of the tips more than I feel like it helps keeping something from getting stuck in the tip. So that's why I don't do it. So this is the tip we kind of decided to use for this Velvetleaf and corn problem. So this one, let me put it down. So this one's 30 degrees forward, 70 degrees back. So if you think of a corn plant, it's got leaves like this, and then if I'm straying straight down with the flat fan, it's not going to get a lot of penetration. There's going to be a lot of, the leaves are blocking it from getting to the ground. But if I have it at an angle, it's going to slide underneath or in between all those leaves on the corn and get to the ground better. At least that's the theory behind it. Haven't really used those tips a ton before, so we'll try it and see if it makes a difference this year. But yeah, so that's kind of the different tips we use, and I'll show you a chart here in TJet real quick. Right here's the master chart, so it tells you what kind of tip, if it's good for broadcast or direct. Just looks like this. So this tip is very good for contact, very good for systemic, and very good for drift management. If you're below 30 pounds pressure, it's only good, excellent for systemic, and very good for drift. So it kind of shows you like this. Then if you want to, you pick your ground speed, and then you can go down and figure out what pressure you want. So say I'm going to go 10 miles or 12 miles an hour, and I want to put on, let's see, 20 gallons of water. So I'll have to come way down here. So if I want to go 12 miles an hour and 20 gallons of water, so right about here, and then that would be about 40 or 50 pounds pressure, be a very coarse droplet. So yeah, I can show you one more example here. So this is actually the one we're thinking of getting. So 30 degrees forward, 70 degrees back. Kind of explain how the tips work. Right here it has the chart. So it's excellent on contact, very good on systemic, and excellent on drift control. And then it's got that angle, like I said, so hopefully we can get through that canopy. Then optimum spray height for 15-inch spacing is 9 inches off the ground, 20-inch spacing 12 inches off the ground, 30-inch spacing 18 inches off the ground. I don't really usually follow that on the height because it's just, unless you're going 4 miles an hour, you're not going to keep your boom out of the ground. But so that's how I used the TJet book or any kind of tip chart. You can look it up online. I'll put a link in there. So I'm headed over to that meeting I mentioned yesterday about talking to our one grower about tips. He's a pretty big grower. Probably our fourth biggest guy. I don't think you guys can hear me in this loud truck. But yeah, so head over there. Hope it goes good. It's having at 8:30 in the morning, which is kind of early. If I'm not spraying, I don't want to get up before 7, and today I had to. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I like the options we have, the suggestions we have, and get rid of this Velvetleaf for them. But we'll see. I can only tell them what I think, and it's really up to them. If they want to do something different, more than willing to do it for them. That's what I'm here to do. Whatever you want, but I'll always give you some suggestions. So hopefully it goes good. So just got back from that meeting with that one client, and yeah, it went a little better than I thought it would. He was just more telling us what he already kind of wanted to do, spray maybe like a third time, and he just wanted to spray the border of his fields. Usually we charge extra for that, but I don't know, he's a big enough guy, we might not. Sorry, it sounds like I ran a marathon, but I just walked to the truck. Online too, I asked like a Facebook group at what guys do for Velvetleaf. It keeps popping up as to use Cadet for Velvetleaf. I'm not really sure what Cadet is. I've never heard of anyone using it around here. And then when you look up Cadet on the internet, it says the first thing it says it's
really for is Velvetleaf. So another one is Status, Helix, GT. I'm not sure what those are. Impact Atrazine. I know what those are, and we do use those a lot. Callisto was another one a couple guys mentioned, and I do like Callisto. It has some residual stuff, and where we do a lot of spud rotations in this area. Sometimes guys don't like to do that. On our dairy guy, you know, he's always spreading manure, which usually brings more weeds. But yeah, we did Callisto on his stuff, and it was so good we didn't even do a second spray, which is kind of uncommon. Prowl, using drops and spraying AIM really late. I heard that impact or AIM on corn though does speckle the leaves. I've never done it myself on corn, so I can't really say. But so maybe something I won't do just because I'm afraid of that. Callisto, Atrazine, Dicamba, Callisto, Armazon. I guess Dicamba, no one really sprays that on corn here. I think it's more of a myth though, because I know in the Midwest you guys do it everywhere, but people here say that if you do spray Dicamba, it can kind of, if the plant's too small or if the conditions aren't perfect, they'll twist up the corn and pucker it up. But I don't know, it's labeled for it. Everyone else does it. It's a broadleaf. Velvetleaf's a broadleaf. You know, I think it would kill it good. So anyways, yeah, so the meeting went good. We're gonna first spray, maybe do it a little earlier. We're gonna do the second spray a lot later after he dammer dikes. Switch up the chemical, and we're gonna use a dual tip, so something with an angle to kind of get some better penetration in that thicker canopy. And then if he really needs us to, we'll spray the edges for a third spray. But so hopefully this year it'll go better. I'll try to take some pictures later or video later of it. Yeah, I guess go ahead and subscribe. Give it a love tap, that subscribe button. Yeah, so hopefully you learned something about tips and Velvetleaf and what to spray